The president-elect's senior transition advisor, Kellyanne Conway, is on the campus of Harvard, where the event took place. Kellyanne, good morning. It sounds like quite a night last night.
Good morning, Gail. It was very spirited. I think the audience learned a lot about the election from the mechanics and messaging point of view, and obviously some of these feelings are still raw. I think most people were not prepared for Donald Trump to become the next president of the United States, and you had a group of professionals, and later Robbie Mook and I doing the campaign manager tete-a-tete, just really discussing what went on in the hard-fought campaign.
No, but we heard that you were accused last night of giving a platform to white supremacists. Do you think that perception still exists, and is a campaign concerned about that?
Well, it's not a fact. It's just completely false. And that's why I asked Jen Palmieri, communications director for Hillary Clinton, if she would look me in the eye and tell me that I ran a campaign that would allow that.
And she said yes,
I know that they're, well, and that's unfortunate. I took that personally. And I know that's not true, Gail. And, you know, President-elect Trump has denounced every single element of that awful movement. He's never met these people. He doesn't ask for their endorsement. He denounced it in an on-the-record interview at the New York Times just last week. But I think some people are stuck in the permanent campaign, and they ought to realize that Donald Trump won 306 electoral votes, 30 of 50 states, over 2,600 counties, turned 200 counties that President Obama had carried are now went into the Donald Trump column. That tells you that people across America really were attracted to his message, and his message of growth and job creation and patriotism and better trade deals. What happened just yesterday? That's what presidents do. Just yesterday, President-elect Trump and Vice President-elect Pence went to Indianapolis and greeted the news that Carrier would keep 1,000 jobs in Indianapolis that were thought to go to Mexico. This is what leaders do. They make good on their promises, and they keep American jobs in America.
Kellyanne, and we spoke to many of those workers who are very grateful at the Carrier plant that they are going to have their jobs. Let me ask you, though, the Wall Street Journal editorial page this morning, however, calls Trump's Carrier deal, quote, arm twisting of a company. Is this a sustainable strategy to boost the economy?
But that's a false characterization, Nora. During those talks, which were very genial between the Carrier and UTC presidents, CEOs, and Vice President-elect Pence and President-elect Trump, they were talking about the way to work together to get this done. And that's exactly what America wants to see.
Has Rudy Giuliani been told that he is no longer a contender? And are you all widening the search for Secretary of State?
Well, I won't divulge private conversations that haven't been made public. But I will tell you, Gail, that that decision has not been made by the president-elect. He will make that ultimate decision as the Secretary of State. It's a very important decision, as are all the cabinet posts and senior staff appointments. There are a number of qualified men and women to hold that post, and the president-elect and the vice president-elect are gathering the counsel of a number of different people and not rushing through such an important decision.
As you heard, Major Garrett is reporting this morning that General Mattis, who will be Mr. Trump's choice for defense secretary, supports Petraeus as Secretary of State. Do you think that will weigh heavily with Mr. Trump?
Well, General Petraeus was in Trump Tower to meet with the president-elect. They had about an hour-long meeting, very productive, very instructive meeting. I know that the president-elect was very impressed with that meeting with General Petraeus, and for good reason. So it weighs in the decision-making to the extent that folks already see they can work together, whether it's our economic team or our national security team or other advisors in the cabinet and elsewhere, Nora. But we all know who makes the ultimate decision here, and it's Donald Trump. But it does matter to him to take the counsel of these people who already trust to be in his cabinet.
Kellyanne, you suggested earlier that Donald Trump supporters would feel betrayed if Mitt Romney got the position of Secretary of State. Do you still feel that they feel that way, some of them?
What I was reflecting was the just breathtaking backlash that I was seeing and hearing in private communications, on social media and elsewhere with respect to the possible appointment of Mitt Romney. And look, I've been on the record as talking about that. Mr. Trump has said that he gave me permission to talk about that publicly, so I've been doing that. But ultimately, that decision is Donald Trump's. I would note that there are a number of people in contention for that.
He's still being considered for the post, Mitt Romney.
As we have publicly said, there are 4 people as of yesterday who are in contention for Secretary of State. That list may expand, that list may narrow. And I know that the president-elect will make his choice public in due course.
Okay, we'll see if due course is next week. Kellyanne Conway, we thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.